Oh, hello there. It's that time again to take a look back at some WWE action on the wrestling show. So, let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Lip really loves wrestling. He likes to talk about it too. If you like to watch wrestling like he do, come and join us on the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. Baby!
Whoa. Welcome to the wrestling show. I'm your most fickle host, Lip Hazlewood, and this is a very cynical look back at the latest episode of Representing the WWE and live from the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Friday Night SmackDown. Air date, October the 27th, 2023. This episode is The Road to Crown Jewel. Now, before we start the show or dive into the show, just a quick shout out to the non-competitors. That's right. First and foremost, representing the general manager, not the authority figure, representing the general manager, he is Mr. Mickey James, Nick Aldis. Next, getting all the pre-match interviews and all the backstage scoops, they are the team of Caleb Braxton and Kathy Kelly. And of course, heading into the ring, letting everybody know who's about to fight and the results of such matches, we got ourselves Alicia Taylor. And of course, least we forget, it's the commentary crew. The play-by-play guys, the hosts, and I even call them the narrators, the whole damn show. They are the team. He is very reliable. He is impeccably styled and dressed. He is extremely handsome. Yeah, like I say, he's Corey Graves. Backing up Corey Graves is, of course, the very enthusiastic Kevin Patrick. And, of course, rounding up the team, it's a longtime veteran of over 25 years. It's Michael Cole. Now, without any further ado-s, let's get on with the show. And we start big. We start with a big contract signing. First we get, what's that? Nick Aldis in the ring there. And we got ourselves ding, 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 dink, 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 dink. That's right. I couldn't believe it. Roman Reigns was there today. He's got to sign his contract for Crown Jewel. So while he's coming out there, the biggest disrespect ever was so good, so fresh and refreshing. It's LA Knight. He decides to cut in on Roman Reigns' entrance. As soon as he's getting in there, LA Knight's music hits. LA Knight. And walking right by him without even giving him ghosting him right by. It was great. It was spectacular. So yeah, the whole thing was great. At the contract signing, LA Knight took the head of the table. Oh, it was so good, so precious. But only thing, LA Knight, he was on top of his game. You can tell he's got some nerves going through him. But yeah, he owned it. He owned Roman Reigns there. Roman Reigns like, you're stupid. Hey, you stupid. It's like, really? That's what you're doing now, Roman. Name calling. Mm-hmm. Name calling is a sign of, lower intellect. When you got to start calling people names. Okay, like that. So anyways, it comes down to this. Nick Aldis got them signed. Now everybody's screaming, Roman's scared. The crowd. Because Roman Reigns bringing up the fact that this is a lot of firsts for LA Knight. First contract signing. First, contract signing for a title match. And first title match. And he tried to put that on his face. And LA Knight definitely put Roman Reigns in his place. Definitely put him in his place. It's like, you overlook me and you will lose that belt. Something like that. But yeah, Roman Reigns gets all pissed off. He can no longer contain himself. Roman Reigns, he's barely around. God damn. He should have lost that belt a year ago. Anyways, Roman Reigns starts to get the beat down on LA Knight. And LA Knight turns things around, beats up some Roman Reigns a bit. And then the X Factor comes in. It's Jimmy Uso. or should I say Donald Faison. His new gimmick character is he's now channeling the great Donald Faison. Anyways, so he goes and attacks LA Knight. And this is what's going to happen over at Crown Jewel. This is the only way Roman Reigns will win. Is if Jimmy Uso comes in and attacks. Because Jimmy Uso will do anything to get back in the bloodline. Because he's a loser. So yeah, he beats him up a little bit, and LA Knight, just like it started, he puts Jimmy Uso through a table. Through a table which Roman Reigns set up because he wanted to put LA Knight through the table, but it is Jimmy Uso who gets put through that very table. Now up next, it is our first match of the night. It is a tag team match. It is the Luftwaffe. I call them Luftwaffe. They're the LWO, Latino World Order, of Carlito and Santos Escobar, versus the Street Profits, Angelo, Dawkins, and Montez Ford, and accompanied to the ring by Bobby Lashley, their handler, apparently, I guess. So, how is this match? This was about 11 and a half minutes. This was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now, the Street Profits have gone completely in their new gimmick. They got new clothes and whatnot, you know. Angelo Dawkins completely got rid of those basketball shorts. He's looking like a champ in there. Looking like an absolute champ. Now, what about this match here? Now, this was obviously it was fun. Now, backstage, I guess they're showing backstage, but who knows when this segment was recorded? It's Rey Mysterio watching the match unfold on the old TV backstage. Who knows? Like I say, I don't know when this was taped. I'm not even sure if Rey Mysterio is even there today. So yeah, in a match here, it's Carlito just crushing it. Just crushing it. Santos Escobar, he's good, but Carlito, he's a big man. And so why is Carlito needed in the LWO? Well, Carlito is the heavyweight. Everybody else is just tiny Mexicans. They're little guys. You know? Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, the cruiserweights at least. You know, even Santos Escobar, he's pushing on a heavy side of cruiserweight. Rey Mysterio, he's a lightweight for sure. Anyways, how about this match? Now we got a point here. It was hilarious. But Angelo Dawkins gets drop kicked right outside the ring. Gets drop kicked outside the ring, and then Montez Ford runs in the ring there. He runs past Carlito, and then he jumps over the top rope. Like, what the heck is that? Because it was a big spot. Is this Santos Escobar gonna be doing a jump? No. Carlito does tope suicide over the top rope, crushing both Street Profits. And now Carlito, he has this great move. It's the neck breaker. It's a twisting neck breaker. Beautiful. I guess it's even better than that's right, the Honky Tonk Man's finisher. But while the Luftwaffe, the LWO, is looking good inside the ring there, backstage it is Logan Paul punching Rey Mysterio in the face. And then that's when it's ridiculous. I guess I don't know why they're showing this footage on the Jumbotron into this arena there. Oh yes, there's Rey Mysterio. He's watching the match like we expected him to. Whatever. And then they got all upset. Oh no! Rey Mysterio's getting beaten up. So Santos Escobar sends Carlito out there to help out. Really, Carlito? Don't you want Carlito inside the ring? He's a bigger guy. He can take care of himself and plus other people. But no, Santos Escobar, I got it! Whatever. Not 5 seconds later, he gets taken out. A double team with Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford. It was ridiculous. Just taking him out there. Anyways, with a double team move, it's like the one and done, except it's a spine buster with it. No, just like the one and done. No, since it's a spine buster instead of, flapjack. So no, after that, we go to backstage. It's with Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns sitting there, talk about what they're going to do with LA Knight, and Paul Heyman, I guess, showcasing the new official NFL titles they got. And they got one with the Green Bay Packers. Paul Heyman's like, I'm going to give this belt to, LA Knight, because this is the closest thing he's going to get to a championship belt, just like the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. And then it's Donald Faison jumps in there. I mean, Jimmy Uso jumps in there. Like, oh, Billy, oh, I'm a fun guy. Jimmy Uso. Mm-hmm. And Roman Reigns like, you're doing it all wrong. This wrong script, whatever. I don't care. It's so ridiculous. So then basically, Jimmy's like, oh, I'm on the injured list. And he's like, we're going to fight any night tonight. Oh, I guess I'm not on the injured list. So then we go backstage again with Kathy Kelly with Logan Paul. And, she's saying, last week you gave her some respect to Rey Mysterio. And this week you punch him in the face. It's like, well, you got to keep him thinking. And he grabs the microphone out of his hands like, hey, I don't really want this. You can have it. But yeah, it's like, you see my fist is as big as his head. And Rey Mysterio does have a tiny head. And he says this is why they have weight classes in boxing. And leaves Kathy Kelly in the dust. And he mocks Kevin Owens with his shirt. He's got a Rey Mysterio shirt. Kevin Owens got a Rey Mysterio shirt. Really? And after that, we got a little more segment goes on. At Kevin Owens, he meets up with the fantastic duo. What's that? A-Town Effect. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And they were both upset at Kevin Owens that's saying that, hey, you want to punch us in the face? It's pretty funny. He's like, yeah, I bet I can punch both of you in the face with one punch. And it was hilarious. Then we got ourselves Jamie Noble and someone coming in there to break up the tension. And then Kevin Owens comes back, and while Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are lining their faces up, Kevin Owens punches both their face with one punch. One punch. And speaking of one punch, we go to a backstage here. It's with some Nick Alice and Shotzi. They talk about whatnots. And we got ourselves the great Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, it comes down to one thing. Chelsea figured she and Piper should be hosts of Halloween Havoc, but it isn't. They make fun of some Shotzi with their pinhead look and everything like that. Anyways, it comes down to a one-on-one match coming up against Shotzi versus Chelsea Green. And it was. And the match was about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. A little bit, about the same length as a commercial break. It was not good. Not good. I'm not sure what's going on, but it seemed they seemed too cautious. It didn't seem very flow. It doesn't flow. They just it was terrible. Shotzi goes and jumps onto the second rope, and then Chelsea jumps on there and does a side Russian leg sweep off it. It looked really bad. The only saving grace in this match here was Chelsea Green with a one massive top rope dropkick onto Shotzi, knocking her straight out of her boots. But however, ending was ridiculous. Chelsea goes for, she gets her down, goes for a pin, and then she lays on top of her lackadaisical, and Shotzi rolls her through, gets a pin. Unfortunate for Chelsea Green, but you know what? These are the Chelsea Green matches. They're very unspectacular. It's just ridiculous. This level of competition should not be in SmackDown. There should be a level up minimum. So next up, we got ourselves something great. Dum, 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 dum. That's right. It's John Cena. Now John Cena's out there to pump up the crowd. You can tell he got his new costume from the the WWE shop.com. Regardless. So anyways, not really .com. He got it directly at the merchandising stand in the live show. Anyways, John Cena's out there. He pumps up the crowd. Pumping up the crowd. And he's talking about the seriousness of the crown jewel. And he suspects that, with Crown Jewel, he feels he's losing the support and the respect of the WWE Universe. Because what? Because he's never around? Because he's never around? I don't know. So anyways, he comes out there and talks about that. And, and the fans they're totally patronizing. They're all screaming out, "You still got it! You still got it!" It's like, whatever. Anyways, he says, "If I don't deliver soon, I can lose it all. This and this." So it's a must-win. And then Paul Heyman, he comes out, with nothing but the fullest and utmost respect. So he comes in there and does the ultimate power move. John Cena did it to LA Knight. He does the handshake. He puts his hand out, whether you like it or not. Shake that hand. John Cena did eventually shake the hand. So it's all about this. Paul Heyman, he's got great mic skills. He's the man. He is the man. Anyways, he's talking about their history, their lineage of Paul Heyman and John Cena. How 21 years ago, Paul Heyman plucked John Cena from OVW because he felt he was the greatest at the time. But now, since Roman Reigns, John Cena is no longer the greatest in-ring performer. However, he is the greatest communicator in the WWE, and of course he is. He's a master manipulator, John Cena. Mm-hmm. He always makes things not about himself, but about everybody. It's ridiculous. So anyways, he says, you know what? In these things here, Roman Reigns and Spear, he can break a couple ribs, but you had broken ribs before. You can come back from that. Jimmy Uso, he would jump off the top rope. He would probably crush your, solar plex. But you've had a broken solar plex before. You can come back from that. But Solo Sikoa, he will smash your throat. So what are you without your voice? And Solo Sikoa will take everything away from you. And you say it's a must-win with the one match. So this basically is John Cena's last match ever in the WWE. So that's what Roman Reigns. That's what Paul Heyman's saying. So the last match left in his career, and Paul Heyman says you can't win. And then Solo Sikoa attacks from behind, just beating down John Cena. John Cena with no offensive moves. And then Solo with the Spike-Oa right to the throat. That's right, putting John Cena down. For the count, baby. Now, with that, we go to our next match, which is Dragon Lee versus Cedric the Entertainer. Or Cedric the Alexander. Now, I think we've seen Cedric Alexander one time this year. Maybe more, but very little. So Cedric met Dragon Lee backstage, and he wanted a match with Dragon Lee, and he got it. So, what about this match? This was about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes, roughly 8.5 minutes, this match. Cedric Alexander, he's one hell of a talent, but he's getting no respect. I mean, I'm happy to see that he's still in the WWE, and his partner Shelton Benjamin was ousted months back. But yeah, this guy is one of the OG members of the Hurt Business, the business. Anyways, this match, it's a lot of back and forth. Dragon Lee goes to top rope and does the Alberto Del Rio, where his opponent is. It's tough. These moves are tough because you got to set up someone in this very specific position every single time, and it's tough to do that. And the position is your opponent's sitting on the top turnbuckle. You push him downward, so he's holding himself up, kind of up, and when you push him down, but he's holding himself vertically by the ropes. And then that's when Dragon Lee does the Alberto Del Rio, where he does a double foot stomp onto the sides of his opponent. So yeah, and then the big finishing move. It is looks like a modified sliced bread. It is a inverted 360 DDT or 3 or 420 DDT. That's a full flip inverted DDT with a sliced bread, run up. So yeah, that's that with that. Dragon Lee with a big win over Cedric Alexander. And is anybody surprised that Alexander lost? Not really. So next up, we got ourselves a little bit of Bianca Belair, and and she's back from her injury, and she's suffering from some serious PTSD. From the big old beating she got from Bayley and Io Sky. They took her out with a chair. And, one thing I find is hilarious. Io Dakota Kai. No, wait, I should say Bianca Belair. She wants some revenge on the entirety of Damage Control. So she says she's going to take out. She's going to start with Bayley and then Io Sky. Just as I figured. Dakota Kai. Who? So next up is our main event match. It is Jimmy Uso and LA Knight. Now this match was about 14 minutes in length. It was match of the night probably. That and Dragon Lee and Cedric Alexander, they had both great matches, very good matches. But we know who's going to win this match here. Not Jimmy, because LA Knight's got this big championship match coming at Crown Jewel, and he's going to look good going into it. So Jimmy Uso, wearing his street clothes, the same stuff he's wearing earlier on. He just does not have ring gear. It's so ridiculous. Jimmy Uso, red tank top, red. I guess you can say it's neoprene pants and sneakers. This guy is ready for the basketball court. What a fool. Anyways, LA Knight, and speaking of basketball courts, LA Knight took the fight outside, and LA Knight was dribbling his head all over the commentating table. It was hilarious. Because every time you see someone have their head bounced off the commentating table more than once, it's just nonsense, because you're like, oh, slapping the thing, oh, it looks so stupid. Anyways, Jimmy Uso, he gets a Uso splash on LA Knight. LA Knight kicks out. Jimmy Uso goes for another splash here, but LA Knight turns things around. Now, maybe it's getting too predictable, LA Knight. But Jimmy Uso goes to the top rope again for another splash. LA Knight knocks his feet off, so he's still sitting on the top rope. He goes on the second rope for a suplex. I'm thinking, nope, this is not going to happen. He's going to get knocked off the second rope, and he's going to run back up, jump on the top rope, and superplex him off the top. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Because LA Knight does not do a mediocre plex off the second rope. Only women and losers do that. A mediocre plex, really? Save those medium moves for Becky Lynch. Anyways, after that, it's Jimmy is all like, oh! And then he gets blunt force trauma. And right then and there, it's over. And it's a big victory. But before he can celebrate, Roman Reigns decides to come in to attack. But Roman Reigns, he does his perfect impression of Otis. He runs himself right into the ring post. And then, next note, he finds himself as in the wrong end of the blunt force trauma. Whammo, bammo, smash your face-o on the groundo. LA Knight with a big statement on Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns, my goodness. People teach us, Roman Reigns personally made himself irrelevant. He took himself as one of the greatest to made himself completely irrelevant by just not showing up. It's sad. Roman Reigns. I don't give two craps about Roman Reigns these days. He doesn't deserve the belt. Apparently, at Crown Jewel will be his fifth title defense, and that'll be it for the whole year. And like I say, I believe Roman Reigns will win because he can't do it on his own. He won't be doing it on his own. If he wins, it's going to be with Jimmy Uso, or maybe even Solo Sikoa. Who knows? All I know. Well, I really certainly hope LA Knight will be getting some sort of, belt, collecting a belt in the future. But will it be the main belt first? Who knows? Who knows? But anyways, that wraps up for this episode of SmackDown and concludes the wrestling show. Now, if you stuck around, for our podcasters, if you stuck around to the very end of the show, know that I hold a very special place in my heart just for you. But, however, this is the end of the episode, and we'll see you another time. I've been Lip Hazlewood for The Wrestling Show.